Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see how this is looking over here. All right. All right. I like to jump on here a few minutes early, just in case. You never know what's going to happen. Okay. Raymond says something. Turn the chats on here so I can see YouTube and Facebook. Now I'll see if we're on YouTube yet. Gotta. Oh, it's about time for me to start this shindig. Okay. All right, folks. Here we go. Okay, hey everybody, this is Brian Hogue. Welcome to the Chiller Night Live pre-show, where every Saturday from 8 p.m. till a few minutes shy of 9 p.m. we're here. I talk to you, you talk to each other, we chat about things, horror, science fiction, the paranormal, and of course the TV schedule for tonight's Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat episodes, coming on Stream TV and at 9 o'clock. Let's see, Carrie says was going to go to Dependable, but Miss Blue says rain tonight. Okay, go to Dependable. I'm not sure what that is. John says hello again. Hey John, thanks for joining us. Well, Carrie, thanks for joining us nonetheless. I'm glad you're here. Leroy says, yeah, Horror Fam Jam, I made it this time. Yeah. I just finished work with Melody. Cheers, everyone. All right, well, cheers to you and Melody and everyone you're working with. Cassandra says, hi, everybody. Leroy says, got you on surround sound. All right. David says, champagne popped. Cheers. And, oh, Cassandra says, dependable drive-in. Okay, all right. Wasn't sure what, well, it'd be a nice night for a drive-in. I mean, I'm glad you're here. But Brad says, it's a Chiller pre-show. Brian Hogue, starring Brian Hogue. Now, here's Brian. What's on tonight, Brian? Wow. I'm going to tell you. All right, here we go. At 9 o'clock, Chiller Night Theater. Jack Shadow features The Ghoul. That was another one. A couple weeks ago, somebody had requested to see that one. I think they did. At least that's the way I remember it. So that's what I'm playing tonight. 11, Chiller Chat. My guest is Doc Dread. Doc, if you're on here, you're going to be on Stream TV tonight at 11 p.m. We did that one back in, I think we did that in February, so it's a fairly recent episode. And then 11:30, Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Atom Age Vampire. And 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat with Brian Hogue. And then 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie is The Last Man on Earth. All right, so you see how we do that? Kind of a rotation. Hey, you know what? I want to throw that back up here for a second. See that up in the upper right? Streammedia.tv. Well, that, of course, is right down here. But if you're new to this, make sure you go to streammedia.tv. You can watch the programs being streamed live on that site, or you can connect to their Roku channel. But go to their website and connect to their Roku channel from their website. So, Bob Book says, hello, everybody. Hey, Bob, thanks for joining us. And Corpus says, greetings all. Greetings, Corpus. Leroy says, cheers, Bob. Raymond says, howdy, everyone. Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. Brad says, sorry I missed the Friday Night Frights last night. I took a nap. When I did watch it, I was having technical difficulties. Well, you and me both. But we got through them, and now I'll be chatting about that a little bit later. We'll be talking about the Friday Night Frights here soon. And yeah, you just never know what in the world's going to happen when you have a live show. You just, especially technical wise. And there's very little, if nothing, I can do about it, especially when I'm all dressed up. I can barely see. I'm trying to put these on and not let anything touch the appliance, you know, because I'm trying to keep that appliance obviously as nice as I can keep it. And you know, the glasses would kind of chip away at that. So I'm kind of basing everything on my raw vision, which isn't very good a lot of times. So Ava says, I can't get you on YouTube. Uh-oh. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. It says, oh, look at this. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. It was set on private. See, okay, let me explain something. That's got me very frustrated. The way that everything looks now on YouTube, the way they have their studio set up, is unrecognizable to me as the way they had it like a couple months ago. So now when I go on here and I'm going through a multi-streaming service to do that, I don't recognize, like, it was so easy before. I could switch back and forth. I could see it. I could see it was playing. Like right now, I don't know if it's playing. I hope it is. Let me see if anyone's on here. If somebody on YouTube could just give me a thumbs up or something. If you don't want to write anything, you know, long and extensive, that's fine. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know you're out there. For goodness sake. All right. But that's got me very frustrated because I can't see things the way I used to on YouTube and even on Facebook. So I can't from here share this while it's playing. So, and before I could, up until just like 2 months ago. So everything's different. I just get used to something and then they change it on me. I swap it around. All right. Okay, Brian's on there on YouTube. Brian Ivers. Hello, Brian. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. And thanks for letting me know that you're on there. Ava gives me a thumbs up. She's on Facebook, but watching YouTube as well. So, all right, thank you. Let's see. Leroy says, yeah, me too. Miss Friday night chats. Worked like an SOB. I ate and went into a food coma. Woke up at 11. Well, that happens. That happens. Okay, so it looks like we're on. David says, back in the 70s, the Dependable Drive-In was famous for showing colorful adult films. Where's that at? I assume it's in Allegheny County, but is that down around like the city of Pittsburgh? Do tell. That's cool. I used to really like the drive-ins. Let's see. Leroy says, hey, I just noticed I could see the comments. Wicked. Aha! That's cool. Very cool. Al says, hi, everyone. Hey, Al, thanks for joining us. All right, looks like we are, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to look at the Facebook page right here. See if I see if anyone's missing that I wouldn't see on the Restream chat. Nothing's ever simple, you know. Nothing can just be right here collectively. I gotta jump around to different windows, but that's okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me tonight and joining each other. And these are a lot of fun. I enjoy these on Saturday nights, and I for those who were with us last night with Jack Shadow and watched The Brain That Wouldn't Die, I very much appreciate that. Yeah. Well, before I get into that, I want to thank. I always like to start out, you know, just acknowledging and thanking my my affiliates like paranormalwarehouse.com and Chop Block TV. They of course have their own Roku channel and Fire Stick channel, and I always wanted to give those guys thanks because they play when I can give them the episodes, when I'm able to get them the episodes. I need cloned or something so I can have a couple of me trying to get things done. But but if I just want to thank those guys. They play Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat episodes, so I really appreciate that. And of course, Gross Fest, Vicelli Pizza. Those guys, they help bring you the Friday Night Frights. So much appreciation for that. David Long, Tim, Tom, Terrence from Gross Fest. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to Gross Fest, by the way. We'll make sure to mention that coming up as well. Raymond says, "I see you, Glam," and Glam's here. Well, hey, Glam. I really wish I could see your comments, and I have no explanation as to why I can't. I wish I could. Brad says, "I'm watching the National High School graduation ceremony on almost every broadcast major networks. Congratulations, seniors." Oh yeah, what a strange way though, to be graduating, unfortunately for them. But nothing I guess anybody can do about that right now. Cassandra says, "Drive-In is located in Moon Township." Okay, all right, that's cool. Cool. All right, and these are the perfect type of movies, these chiller movies for stuff like that. Cassandra said, "The drive-in is a good concert location. People are enjoying safe concerts at drive-ins." Oh, that's neat. Raymond says, "Brian, you have to be special to see Glam." That must be it. That must be it. Yeah, and it's something. Okay, last night's Friday Night Fright. Speaking of Raymond won the Jack Shadow giveaway prize last night. He was the contest winner. Guessing the movie clip was, of course, from, well, now we know, from Dementia 13. That was a little tougher of a clip for your average viewer of the Chillers, because it wasn't anything real distinctive until it got to the point. But I think you caught on. I think you got it before they even got up to the point where the guy got, the axe. I wasn't real sure if anybody was going to get that, other than maybe, I don't know. Some of you are really good about that, like John and David and Diana, Silvio, and actually probably most of you. It's just not a movie that I've played in quite a while. I haven't played it yet on Chiller Night Theater. I played it before on Sleepy Hollow Theater, but I'll probably have to play that one. But congratulations, Raymond. I will get you that stuff out in the mail. Let's see. Get some clapping going on from Raymond. Raymond says, "I have a thing for Luana Anders." Okay. And Leroy says, "Sup, Dave? Cheers, homie." Brad says, "Drive-ins are booming these days since the almost all indoor movie theaters are closed." Yeah. Raymond gives a thumbs up. Dale says, "Hello, everyone. Wi-Fi kind of acting up tonight. I may be in and out, but I'm here. It keeps freezing." All right, Dale. Well, thanks for joining us. David's here. David Long. Evening all. Hey, David. Raymond says, "Thank you. Okay. Brad says, "Streaming is popping up also." Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. And like I said, with the Friday Night Frights last night, I was worried about this because earlier in the day, I like to kind of, check the equipment, make sure everything's going okay, the lights, the sound, of course, the camera, big key player, in devices, in making all this happen. And unfortunately, the camera started acting up earlier in the day, and I'm like, Okay, it's done this before where it freezes, but usually I unplug it, plug it back in. I restart, not I kind of refresh the page, and it sort of kicks in there. Okay, but it wasn't doing it yesterday. And minutes before, you know, actually it was like 8 o'clock, and I'm still messing around with this, or at least it seemed like it was rated, or maybe it was a minute or two, but I'm still messing around with it. I can't get the camera to work. So then it did come on, and I was like, okay, now I'm really worried because I was expecting that to happen. I was afraid that was going to happen, I should say, and it did. We did Jack, we did the movie, and coming back to Jack, he's frozen. So like 27 minutes into the program, I had to just say, all right, folks, let's cut bait here and regroup. So that's what we had to do. Now on the plus side of things, of course, when I edit the program together into one episode for Stream TV's viewing, you're never going to see any of that, of course. But when you're playing it live and unedited online, anything could happen. So you just never know. I think I would be a lot more comfortable if I was in a studio and I had somebody who knew what a little bit more about electronics and stuff in charge of that part of it, but this is what we got, folks. So you're getting what I got. Let's see. Bob says, I love drive-ins. Once fell asleep, woke up the next day, stopped, and had breakfast on the way home. That's cool. Oh, I missed a lot of comments. John says, I like Atom Age Vampire. The time elapsed effects on the transformations are still better than some of the CGI that we get today. I'm glad you like that movie. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's weird how, and Jack goes in that tonight, talking about the why it's called Vampire, Atom Age Vampire, when there's actually no vampire. There is a monster. Don't dismay, Chiller fans. There is a monster if you've not seen this movie before, but it's not exactly, well, not at all a vampire, but he does explain why it's called a vampire, because it's really not explained in the movie. There's a little backstory behind it, but it's kind of more like, digging into behind the scenes of the movie. And I don't think that it's really just explained too well, if at all. But fear not, Jack Shadow. That's what he's there for. Let's see. Let me get caught up on some of these. Raymond says, my Facebook interrupts every few minutes. That's why I moved to YouTube. Does it really? That's not good. David says, speaking of adults, who's drinking what on such a nice night? All right, do tell. Share your favorite beverage of choice tonight. Corpus says, replying to David, well, I'm taking it easy tonight, working in the AM. That's a good idea. Good idea. Brad says, at least it was a beautiful day today. Leroy says, I'm drinking Busch Ice. It's cheap. And it's 6%. Okay. Busch Ice. Wow, I haven't had that in a while. John says, you always take a risk when you're live. Yeah. But I tell you what, I love this stuff live. I've since I started this whole idea of doing the horror host show, I always wanted it to be live. To me, that's just more fun. There's just something a little bit more risky about it, but there's a little bit more of a thrill. Like if I knew, for example, if this show came on TV every Saturday night at 9 p.m., live from the TV studio, I would love that. Like I would make it an absolute point to tune into that. I would love to see. I just like watching live shows. And there was a time when a lot more of the TV programs that you watched, were done live. There was a lot of that. We don't obviously do that much today, but well, nothing's going on live, pretty much right now. But I don't know. There's a kind of a thrill to it to me. You know, I like doing that. Plus, on my end, other than when things screw up, you know, I like it because to me it feels more like a little sliver of theater. You know, like there is a little sense of theater involved because like when I'm on here live, not this show, this is just, you know, us sitting here and chatting away. Deborah says, hello, hey, Deb, thanks for joining us, Deborah. And Bob says, having a shandy. And Brad's having a Corona, LOL. Corpus says, I've just been having a hard time with the internet in general lately. So much traffic with everyone home. Yeah, yeah. Raymond says, was Chili Billy live? He was live. He was live, and then a little later on, they did do some pre-tape shows, and it had something to do with them being able to afford to hire somebody else down there who worked in the studio, and then he ended up not even taking the job, I guess. I vaguely know this story, but for the most part, it was live. There was a certain period of time when it was pre-taped, and that was to save on having a crew coming out at night to film that show. So, but for the most part, it was live. Let's see. Tom says, evening all. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us. John says, on duty, can't drink anything other than water or soda. Yes, that's the responsible thing to do. Maybe not as fun, but responsible. David says, drinking Monster Energy. Okay. I'm just reading some of these comments. I try to avoid reading the ones that you know to each other because you were of course already reading them. Oh, Deborah says you can call me Deb. Hi, Corpus. Oh, okay. Well, all right, Deb. Thank you. Corpus is replying to Tom. Good evening. Let's see. Leroy says I was doing the same thing but with vodka, homie. And then Ava says, how am I coming up Chiller Night Theater? Well, I don't know. I did notice that. But that's okay. David says, The Head That Wouldn't Die was filmed in 13 days, and the lab scenes were set up in a hotel in New York. 13 days, imagine that. That's really something. Yet, you know, I read about, you know, in doing some of the research for these, you know, I read about stuff like that. It was filmed in 13 days, 14 days, or 17 days, or 12 days, or even 7 days, or whatever. And it's like, that's quite a, you know, that's quite a project. Whether it's a low budget movie or not, that's still, that's a lot of work, you know. And I've worked, you know, just minor little projects, you know, when it comes to haunted houses or TV shows or whatever. And I know that there's a lot of work that goes into all that and coordinating it. So my hat's off to those guys who can pull off these movies. Like Roger Corman was one of the one of the kings when it came to stuff like that. Working low budget and getting things done before, you know, the time allocated. He was certainly a legend back in the day for that. And we do play a lot of Roger Corman movies. Let's see, just trying to see where to jump in and read. Corpuses. Okay. Yeah, you switch back and forth. It has something to do, I'm sure, with you being an admin for the Chiller Night Theater page on which this is playing, so that might have something to do with it. Raymond says, it took more than 3 days? Well, some of them look like the, you know, maybe they've, yeah. Yeah, you might be shocked to hear that number on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, like, it took 3 days to film that? Oh, well. But we love them. But, yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Like I said, these are fun, but the Chiller Night Theater live episodes I would love to do from a studio eventually. That would be fantastic. I mean, it's neat to do them here because you know, I don't have to go anywhere. But you know, that's a plus. but it's just not the same. I mean, there's things I don't have control over, you know, sounds and different things, you know, cars passing, you know, nearby. Our studio, obviously, I'm not going to get those background sounds, but it's what I have to work with for now. Uh, but even last year when we were doing them, it's just kind of a neat thing to do because you know, with me doing this show, that's what you know, that's what gave me the idea. Is like, wait a minute, I'm getting on here every week now that I know how to do this stuff. Why can't I? Why can't I go and you know, switch a different? Well, I guess I only have one background scene on here, but I can, you know, I just switch backgrounds. I don't know, and then I can throw things up here like the crystal ball, you know. Ooh, you know. I put that on because, believe it or not, something like that, that glow, I do that to try to eliminate the studio lights um, for the crystal ball, you know, when Jack's talking into the crystal ball. Because when I edit the show, that darn crystal ball, that is so, it, you know, I got to put that back in. I have to re-edit that on top of the actual object. You know, it's just an extra step on getting that thing done and getting it to the TV station, you know, in time for Saturday, you know, next Saturday. Now that episode is going to be next Saturday's 9 o'clock episode. So I've had quite a bit of these Friday Night Frights this year. We've had one in February. We had 4 in March. You know, April and now May. So we've had 7 of them. We only did 6 of them in 2019. Now I am coming up on a crossroads in a decision here. So, you know, we'll probably most likely do one for, I mean, I should put it this way. I'm planning on doing one for June, okay? But after that, I'll be honest, I don't know. I'm not sure yet which way I'm going with this because I don't know if I'm doing a haunted house. I'm not real clear. I'm a little uneasy about this idea of, oh, there's a crazy outbreak and we got to shut everything down again. You know, after spending a whole summer building this stuff, uh, but I don't know. So I'm waiting a little bit longer until I hear how things are going and if it's, I mean, who knows? Who knows anymore at this point? But it's a little. I mean, it'd be fun to do one. I'm hoping to do one. But I have a backup plan in mind for if that doesn't happen. But maybe I'll end up doing both. Who knows? But um, Leroy says, Brian, looks like you got some sun. We did get some sun today. We went out. Well, I mowed a couple days ago, and then I was out there for several hours mowing, and then today Ava and I took a walk for a couple miles. So it was a nice day. Watch these things. But Pentagon says they're real now, so. But that's not the biggest news in the headlines, no. Killer Hornets or something else. Let's see. Brad says the Chili Billy station are going to regret this if they don't give you the offer. They don't know what they're missing. You agree, Brian? I agree. I appreciate that. I would. Yeah, you know, it's kind of a weird thing, you know, because it's like I don't know anymore if that could be done the way it was, and maybe that's just a memory, and it should be left at that. Because I know things just you know are going more toward streaming and stuff like that. However, when I went down to talk to them about putting Chiller Night Theater on WPXI, they you know. I'll tell you how this went, and I'll say it with, you know, I don't say it with any negativity toward the station at all, because I will say this above all things, okay? I don't take things personally. It's business. It's not personal, it's business. And I get that. I totally get that. So because I have that business mindset as well when I do the haunted houses or, you know, professional wrestling shows and things like that. Like I totally get that. You know, you got to look at the numbers and sponsorships and stuff like that. And you know, I get it. But you know, they'd be very limited on what time they could put it on WPXI. They'd be very limited on that because they air Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you remember that show. It used to be, it was a show that was on every Saturday night, and it used to be funny at one point. But anyways, they're choosing to play that every Saturday night, and maybe it'll come full circle and get funny again. You never know. But anyway, they were going to put me on their PCNC channel. Okay, with the addition of putting me on their online WPXI online site, okay, app or site. I thought, okay, it was actually going to start this month last year in May. We were going to start it in May. And it was going to be on every Saturday night at 11 p.m. And the only reason I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it because some things were changed, you know, from our conversation. And again, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but it's life. It's realism. You know, it's realistic. Things aren't always done with the handshake deal. You know, but when I left that day, we had a direction, and it was, you know, we were moving in that direction, and then all of a sudden, 10 days later, hey, guess what? That's not the way we're gonna do it now. I'm like, well, you and me both. So that's where we were at there. Door's not shut, but I'm not in a big hurry to open it up either, I guess, not under those conditions. I won't get into the details of that, but like I say, I don't say that to to talk trash about the station, but it is what it is. Leroy says, bro, your shirt is wicked. Ah, thank you. My Universal Monsters shirt. I love that stuff. So that's the same picture, I think, that's on that book in the background with Bella. Bob says, yes, dig the chameleon shirt. Corpus says, okay, guys, sorry, I have to jump off. Have a few things to take care of. Have a chiller night, everyone. All right, Corpus, thanks for joining us. And then Leroy says, I got an online shop for t-shirts, too. I have to get more Monster t-shirts or more War of the World t-shirts or something a little more chiller to fit the theme of this. I have this in a Wolfman, and then I got mostly Star Wars and superhero shirts. So I still get my geek, you know, t-shirts, but I gotta stock up more on my Monster shirts. Let's see. Al says, no, Corpus, we need you. Yes, Corpus, you get back here. Raymond says, have your monsters and ghosts wear masks and gloves in the haunted house. Yeah, I'm actually getting some information on what some of the other haunts are anticipating having to do with that type of thing. Because it doesn't, I mean, okay, I live in Pennsylvania, so if we comply with every single thing that we're supposed to, even if we go on another, you know, lock-in, you know, not literally, but you know, an at-home directive statewide again. You know, nobody can open, no business. I mean, I'm certainly not an essential, so if you know, no recreation is. So, see my dilemma. You know, of course, it's an obvious one, but I know you do. But that's what's kind of been on my mind is like, okay, now we went out today, you know, in the areas that we've opened up, you know, and I was surprised with how many people were out. You would, you know, the last couple months seemed to have just, you know, almost, it's like, what happened, you know? So there were a lot of people out, and I don't know, that was encouraging to me. And, you know, people were still keeping distances and wearing the masks inside the stores. So, but Corpus says, I'll still be here in spirit. All right. We expect no less. Doc says, I agree to Brad. Oh, that's way up there. Okay. Oh, with Chili Billy. Oh, thank you, Doc. Hey, I got you on here, by the way. I'm playing your episode at 11. So glad you jumped on here so I could share that with you. We'll go over the schedule again. But let's see. David said, other haunted houses might think like you, but if you build yours, you might be the only haunted house around. Yeah, I've thought about that. I do have some ideas for backup. I always have a plan B. The only thing is, the only time when a plan B doesn't always work is when I'm here and a technical issue happens. But I am of that mindset, and that's the entertainer in me. The show must go on. The show must go on. So if that camera was going to freeze and we'd have to restart after every movie segment, that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to get through that show, believe me. I'm not ever going to give up on a show or, I don't get all dressed up for nothing, So, let's see. John says hello from New Jersey. Hey, John, thanks for joining us. One of our viewers on YouTube. All right, trying to just finished. Leroy says just finished work. Now I'm chilling with you fine people, homie. Drinking my beer. All right, that sounds like a comfortable evening. That's what Saturday nights are all about, Doc Dredd says, hey, Doc's in the house. And I don't know if Tim or Tom was on here earlier. I don't know if he or Terrence is on here. I wanted to touch on Gross Fest. I know Gross Fest is still on. It's still on. So if you're planning on going to Gross Fest, go to Gross Fest. That's in July. So that's what, 25th and 26th, I think. It's several months away, so we'll start really putting that stuff on there. I know I plug it on all the Friday Night Frights, with the little commercial I did, but we're gonna be there. The only thing that might be a little weird, if we're all required to still wear the masks, I don't know, and I got to talk to these guys about this because I think that would be pretty tough to be dressed as Jack Shadow for hours, and like last year, as much as I loved it, had a great time, but we were in a pretty big, very, it was a warm room. It was hot having all that on, and I'm fine doing that. I don't have a problem doing that. I've been out in the hottest sunny days or muggy days during parades in summertime in full costume. So I don't have a problem with the heat, but what I do have a problem with, that it might be a problem, is if it gets that hot, I'm wearing that mask on top of my face plus another mask on top of that. It might get just hard to breathe and feel a little claustrophobic. So maybe if that's the case, I might just show up as Brian, He's a nice guy. I can come out and see him. But and Ava will be there, and I Samantha, as far as I know, at least that was the plan last time I talked to her. We were all planning on going there, so I just don't want to wear a mask on top of a mask if that's the case at the end of July. But I've got plenty of time to think about that. Maybe I'll get a cardboard cutout of Jack Shadow and have by our table. Meet the actor who plays Jack Shadow. Not quite as exciting, but got to work with what we have right now. Let's see. Jason says, late arrival. Hello, everyone. Excellent show last night, Jack. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And John says, have a Jack Shadow t-shirts with them. Welcome you to watch Chiller Night Theater. T-shirts with them. Welcome you. Yeah, I could do something like that. Maybe I could wear a Jack Shadow t-shirt. Jason says, Jack Shadow is an essential part of our culture. That's awesome. I like hearing that. He certainly is to mine. So that's cool that you feel that way. David says, replying to Dr. Ed, hey, Doc. And Brad says, any plans for another Friday Night Frights? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming. I'm planning on one in June. It's just that after June, oh boy, I don't know. We'll have to see. It might be like last year. I might go up to June, and I'll have to make that decision. Okay, what now? Because I can tell you that doing that, the haunt, and doing this doesn't work. It just doesn't. I just don't have enough time. I barely. When I was doing this Friday Night Frights and editing in March. March was interesting for me because that was I was doing one every week, every Friday, which I thought would be a neat challenge, and it was. Wasn't anything overwhelming. It was just a lot of time consumption. Writing shows and because I don't have those. I have an idea of what movie I'm going to do, but a lot of those I'm writing that dialogue up that week, and then I'm trying to go over that in my, I'm trying to get familiar with the dialogue, so there's that, and there's the editing that has to be done, with the just everything, adding the commercials and the bumpers and the little logo that you see in the lower corner of the screen. All that stuff, even though it doesn't seem like a big deal, it's all time consuming because it has to be done. It has to be put on there, or of course it doesn't show up on screen. So, it all takes time. It all takes time. But yeah, I do plan to do one in June. I just don't know what yet. And that's another thing I struggle with is what movie. Because there's some really cool movies that I would like to do, but I'm very uncertain about them. Because like just today I got one taken off of Facebook. Facebook took one of my videos off, said that there was a copyright violation for 1 minute and 57 seconds of Night of the Living Dead. So they took it off. So, and that was one of our, or no, it wasn't Night of the Living Dead. It was Fiends Without a Face. Yeah, Fiend Without a Face. It was 1 minute and 57 seconds worth. Somebody claimed that they that's mine. I own less than 2 minutes of that movie. So, and then there was not an option. It said, if you wish to dispute this, I'm like, heck yeah, I want to dispute it. And then it wouldn't let me dispute it. So I had, the only other option was to have it deleted. So I had to. So, but that's okay. I mean, it doesn't, I'm still playing it on YouTube. I can still play it on Stream TV. I just had to take it off of YouTube. However, the point I'm getting to is that's the type of thing I want to avoid, because if I'm playing a movie like that, it's very, and other horror hosts have had this happen where they're doing a live show, and it gets stopped. It gets disrupted by Facebook, and that's the type of thing that anymore I get very concerned about. So I'm kind of going with some very easy selections instead of more obscure. I'm kind of going with the mainline public domain movies, which is even kind of risky now, because the Satanic Rites of Dracula was always a public domain movie, and now it gets taken down because Warner Brothers is reclaiming the title, I guess, or the rights to that movie, or maybe they repurchased it. I don't know. I don't know enough about that, but I Bury the Living was another one starring Richard Boone. I think that's a good movie, and it's another one they took down. Children shouldn't play with anything, with dead things ever. But they took that one off. They're taking all these movies off, so that were for a long time on the public domain list, and still are. There still are, but I don't know. I don't know that there's any real good answers to do this. But when you see that I'm picking a Friday Night Frights movie, I'm kind of, when it's being done live, I'm going the safe route, and now I'm picking them. picking ones that I've heard no confliction as to whether there's something in that might be a copyright or a claimed copyright violation. So this is exciting stuff, I know, but I thought I'd at least explain to you what's going on there. Doc says, "Thank you, Brian, for your support." Oh, hey, no, that's no problem. I appreciate you being a guest on Chiller Chat. So, Raymond says, "Restaurants open this week in Colonial Beach, Virginia. A whole lot of drinking was going on." Ah, yes. Well, I don't blame them at all. So, I know I'm looking forward to getting out there, and like I said, it was kind of nice getting out there today and seeing everybody. Like we had a mall up in Venango County that was pretty much a ghost town. You know, when it was open and before all this happened. You know, you'd rarely see any, but the stores that were open, man, those parking lots were just. You know, there's so many cars in the parking lots, and I loved seeing that. You know, so that was really cool. Um, Leroy says, "Hey, we can haunted houses and woods because we all wear masks." Yeah. Bob says, "Peepers are really singing, and it's a welcome sound." Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't heard too many of them lately around the house, but that's coming. So I'm glad you're hearing them out where you're at. And let's see. Tom says Gross Fest is on. Yep, we were just talking about that. He said it'll be a little different this year. We have a plan to be as safe as we can. I have no doubt. Um, I am. I'm looking forward to Gross Fest very much. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And if you guys are in the area, hope you get a chance to come on out. I got to, or even just come on out, stop in, and see us, but see everybody else. But if you are in the area, and if you want to stop in and come on in, we certainly hope you stop at our table and meet us. We met Glam Fangs last year, and that was nice. And let's see. David said, "Instead of a haunted house, have a super spectacular Halloween chiller night show where Jack Shadow and his gang visit hell and fight the devil." Yeah. Well, you never know. Boy, there's so many things that could happen if, because Halloween's on a Saturday night. And believe me, my wheels are turning. What can I do? If the haunt, one thing, does open or doesn't open, I still want to make Halloween a big deal. Whatever way we go with Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow, Halloween, or the Witch, Elva Knock. So we will see how that goes. Deborah says maybe put a filter inside your mask. Maybe, but it would still be difficult to breathe. That would be, if you can imagine that a foam latex appliance over your face and then having a mask over top of that. Not only would the breathing be an issue, but another thing, and this is something I think about because I made that mask. I painted that mask. I retouched the mask quite a bit. And I try to keep that mask very, very in very nice shape. And if I'm having a mask on top of that, believe it or not, I mean, even stuff like that affects the paint, because there's a certain type of paint I use on that foam latex appliance. Anything that could damage or potentially damage that mask, I'm very leery. I'm very protective of that. So I don't know. We'll see. It's a ways off, and who knows? Who knows? But I would love to be there. Partly, I wasn't there the whole time as Jack Shadow last year. We did like half a day as Brian, half a day as Jack. That's a long day. That's a long, it'd be a long, long day to be as Jack Shadow in that costume. Because the costume it's I always joke around like, oh, okay, before I go put this stuff on, if someone's here, I say, okay, well, I'm gonna go slip into something more uncomfortable. There's it's not practical, it's not comfortable whatsoever. But hey, it brings that character out, so I wouldn't have it any other way. Um, Tom says a cutout of Jack would be awesome. Yeah, I'll have to think about getting one of those. Um, then David says pictures with the cutout. Well, that's an idea, and I could stand there, as Jack's alter ego. That's an idea. Or if we're getting one of me and Jack, and then or me and Ava and Samantha, that'd be kind of fun. We'll think of something like that's my only concern. I just thought of this actually I think I just thought of this yesterday when I was putting all that stuff on to do the Friday Night Frights. I thought, well, how would I do that? Because at first I was thinking, you can get customized mask, and I could get one that looks like the bottom of the mask of Jack, but I'm thinking, okay, aesthetic wise, that might kind of look like Jack's face, but I've got two issues. One with the breathing, my breathing, and the second with the wearing on the paint, on that mask. Just don't know if I'd want to take that chance. So, Cassandra says a Jack Shadow standee. I'm thinking about it. I think that would look pretty cool. Let's see. Tom says, David Long. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Pictures with the cutout. Yeah, that's a neat idea. That's a neat idea. That's a good. Thanks. And then I'm not sure that would work either. Ava says to Deborah, "Oh, but the filter inside the mask. Maybe the cardboard cutout might be the way." It's possible. Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind the heat. I don't mind being uncomfortable necessarily, but I do like I don't want my breathing inhibited all that much. With the foam latex appliance over that, and then a mask on top of that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I could wear a black one, a pure black one underneath the mask, but that would be tough to breathe. It just would be. But we'll see. Brad says, I know, a big decision to make the haunted house again for October, especially in this COVID-19 environment. Yeah, right. John says, you could do a summer encore of your shows and show your fans' favorites. That's very possible. Although, I show a lot of repeats. That's inevitable because I can't do them every week. I can't keep up with every week, of course. I just don't have that kind of time, with work and home and life and being a husband and a dad and all that. So that would be all I'd be doing. So, but I can't keep up with that many. That's why, I'm glad you guys like, the movies and support the show and rewatch some of these, it just how it goes. Brad says, Fiend Without a Face, copyright infringement. Yeah, to the point to where, like I said, 1 minute and 57 seconds. Somebody claimed it. Somebody claimed it. So maybe there's more to it than that, but that's the notification that I was given, so they took it down. But it's still up on YouTube for now. But give YouTube time. Oh, boy. YouTube, they just come at me every time. So Jason says, Big Brother censorship. I'll tell you. I do believe in, for lack of the checks and balances. I do believe in, if something is copyrighted material and I don't have the right to play it, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with something that sounds a little unreasonable or unrealistic. If somebody's saying that they own this much, maybe if there's a song playing in the background, if they want to go that route, I can see that. but looking at the video, and I see that it's a clip of the movie. You know, that's the part where I have a problem with, because like how, what? But anyways, they're gonna. That's why I would really like to get with the TV station that has the licensing to play these movies. You know, that way, because I mean they could henpeck this to death and just end up with the horror host not being able to play anything at some point. You know, so holy cow, it's 8:55. I didn't even. Wow. I did not know that. I thought it was around like 8:30. Wow, let me throw this schedule up here again. I am sorry, I really rambled on. There were so many comments I didn't even get to. But 9 p.m. in just like 5 minutes, if less. The movie is The Ghoul, starring Boris Karloff. 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Doc Dread. And 11:30, Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Atom Age Vampire. 1:30, Chiller Chat. And I'll be on there talking about all the latest and greatest with Chiller and Chiller Night and Chiller Chat. And 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie is The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, of course. And Harry says 5 minutes and counting. Yeah. Checklist snack. Check. Beer. Check. Roku remote. Check. All right, you are all set, Harry. And let's see. Doc says, I tried to put a trailer of one of my reviews. I found the trailer in archive.org, which is a good source for public domain, and it assumed it was public domain. YouTube said no. Yeah. What I do, I look at several sources. You know, because you can't just go on a public domain list anymore. You just can't, because I mean, I don't have the end all be all answer, and I wish I did, because it does make it tough. Doc says Karloff, yes. John says Chiller Night pre-show. It's a Stream Media TV production. Offer void in Utah. What again? Brad says at a public domain movie, you don't know that you're breaking a copyright. Well, a public domain movie, yeah. Well, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be at all. But breaking those copyrights, if it's a public domain, you should be able to, view them to the public. As long as you're not receiving any money in a public gathering, like in a theater, and I'm showing them. I guess. Hey, who knows? And Al says, have a good night, everyone. All right, Al, thanks for joining us. Jason says, excellent chat tonight. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing all you do. Oh, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. All right, folks. Well, I will cut it, put a cap on this show. Later, Gators, Raymond says. All right. Thanks, Raymond. And, all right, 8:57. So, folks, dash to your Roku devices, fire up the TV and your Roku or your computer if you want to watch it streamed directly from streammedia.tv. But enjoy Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat episodes tonight from 9 p.m. until on and off until about 3:30 in the morning. So thanks for joining me tonight, and as always, every Saturday night, appreciate it. So have a good night. Have a good Chiller night. We'll see you next week.